Coming to you live from Revive, this is all due respect. And now, your host, CJ Walton!
Yeah, what's going on? Periscope people in the audience, thanks for coming out tonight and joining us here with all due respect. What do you think, Shark?
Hey, I'm just glad that I'm here tonight.
So you finally found him?
They found me. I don't remember where it happened or where I was at, but I'm back this week and ready to get at it.
He has been located, and thank you to all the viewers for calling in and making sure that happened. They found you because of those pants you were wearing.
I know.
All right, with all due respect tonight, you know how we do. Let's get started, Wizard. Top 5.
Ooh, I like that.
Are you ready? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right, top 5 headlines. Number 1, burglar stuck in chimney dies after homeowner lights fire. Now I tried my best to not, because this is like the dude died, so.
Right.
But man.
Was he wearing?
No.
Okay.
He was not wearing, so, from what I understand, the guy that was 19 years old. Yeah, I know, it makes it even worse. Climbs into the chimney. They said he was in there for like almost 24 hours by the time the homeowner came in. Because he climbed into the chimney to rob the place. He got stuck. He couldn't get out. So his plan was to hide the chimney, homeowner leaves, go to work, rob the place, get out, right? Well, by the time the homeowner comes out, he'd been in there for almost 24 hours. Homeowner lights a fire because it's chilly. And so the homeowner hears a bunch of screaming. Well, he tries to put the fire out, which caused a bunch of smoke.
Yeah.
And by the time they got the dude out, they had to dismantle the whole chimney. He was dead.
That's crazy. I don't even want to comment on it.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you imagine like being stuck in like a chimney?
It'd be terrible.
What goes through your mind to think you can actually climb down a chimney?
I don't know what happens to the old like breaking the window and jumping in.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Kobe Bryant to retire at the end of this season. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to be real honest from a guy who loves basketball. I loved to hate Kobe Bryant. I've never been a fan of Kobe, but it's kind of sad because, you know, just showing respect. Dude is a legend.
One of the greatest of all time.
He is one of the greatest of all time. You can definitely say that no matter whether you like him or not. So it's kind of sad because you see him now, and
I don't know. I don't really care. He's a daylight $1 short. Dude should have hung him up a long time ago.
Well,
he's terrible.
I
He just
get
got
that.
beat
I
by
get
the worst team in the NBA last night. Like, terrible.
I get that.
And he's always been in the shadow of Michael Jordan. So, what are you going to do?
I mean, I'm not like really distraught about it. I'm just saying he's good.
He's good. I'm not going to say that. I don't know.
And that's the bottom line.
Moving on. Georgia welcome sign stirs up major controversy. I don't know if you've seen this, but a sign that they put up in Harrison County, Georgia. It says, warning. It's like, welcome to Harrison County, Georgia. Warning. Harrison County is politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas, God bless America, and in God we trust. We salute our troops and our flag. If this offends you, leave.
I love it.
Love it.
I love it. They should put in parentheses at the bottom, with all due respect.
Yes. And I think the sheriff is the one that put the sign up there.
Yeah.
Like, he paid for the sign.
I think it's
Social media people are
Bad.
going crazy over it. You got people like us that are like, yeah. You got people that are like, that's ridiculous. You don't like it? Leave.
yeah.
Get out.
If you don't like it, yeah, go to a different county.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, moving on. Nuns pose as prostitutes to rescue victims of human sex trafficking.
I saw that. It's
Did you?
phenomenal.
Great.
Dude, the fear. I don't know.
You start looking into sex trafficking and like what it all entails, and
Yeah.
it's dangerous, it's scary, it's terrible. With this group of nuns, and they're working in brothels, and raising money to buy these victims back, doing all kinds of stuff. And the crazy thing is that no one knows that they're there, like
Right.
undercover as it can get.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
And you know that was on their own behalf. Like, they didn't have. I mean, I don't think they had any like FBI agents or anything
No.
backing them up. This was something that they did.
Something they did because what they're saying is they don't trust anyone. They don't trust the government. They don't trust. I mean, it's all on their own.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, God's doing it. It's
They
crazy.
put themselves in harm's way for sure.
Well, that's true service, man.
Yeah.
It's true service. That was pretty awesome. All right, and wrapping up this top 5. I don't know if you've seen this, but you've seen the deer cam.
I did.
The dash cam video.
I did.
So here locally, and this has gotten viral, of course, but here locally, Kenton County, a police officer, a deer runs into his car, driving on the road,
Yeah.
and he catches on dash cam, and I think Wizard's got that clip. If you want to show that clip here, Wizard. Tell me how awesome that is. I don't like how he's, and you can roll that again, Wizard. I just like how he's like, the deer runs into the car.
I'm trying to see the deer before he gets to it, and the deer wasn't anywhere.
And the deer never like misses a beat. You know, watch it. It's down, boom, 1, 2, gone. What's that? What do you think? You think it's a good deer or what?
Yeah.
I think it's a shooter
I
buck.
think it's a solid deer.
I mean, when he
It's not
slows
a
it.
mega buck.
Hey, Wizard, why don't you see if you can like stop that one right on it good? Let's see if. I mean, that's a pretty good shot right there.
Yeah,
Eight pointer.
I
I'm
mean,
guessing about 125-inch 8-pointer. Probably a 2.5, 3-year-old deer.
I
But I
like
can
it.
tell you one thing. He's a really good at acrobatics.
I mean, that
That's
deer.
parkour.
That is.
Deer parkour.
That deer is completely upside down. Like, what's going through that deer's mind right there?
Right there. Oh, crap.
All right, play. And see that sign right there? What happens if he's like 2 foot over and he gets that sign?
Lord, it's a miracle.
It is a miracle. It's awesome. So, that's local stuff
He
here.
doesn't even skip a beat.
The Coursey Pike. We've drove that many times. We drove that all summer long.
Yeah, he didn't hit that deer. That deer hit him.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, and he didn't even, the thing about it is, you listening to that, I didn't hear him say anything.
Nothing at all.
I mean, you would think something's going to come out of his mouth.
Yes. Yeah, I would be scared of that.
What did he say? All right, that wraps up our top 5 tonight.
Deer. I live for this.
We pulled out last week's by the skin of our teeth. Stay undefeated.
You can't handle the truth.
Little truth or untruth. You guys ready?
Ready.
I basically gave it to you last week.
Well, I mean, Shark was missing. Pastor Earl didn't have a clue what he was doing. See what he did.
All right. You know you must respond with truth or untruth.
Correct.
Failing to do so will result in a penalty. The mint julep is the signature drink of the Kentucky Derby. Truth or untruth?
Truth.
Truth.
Other than friends.
There's a friend right there. Ask the crowd.
Hurricanes and typhoons are the same thing. Truth or untruth?
I feel like this is a trick question.
I feel like it's a trick question.
Answer the question.
Say false.
Untruth.
Untruth.
Nope.
Truth.
You sneaky wizard. You just said, if we just said truth, you just said untruth. I know it. You are not playing an honest game back there.
Russia has the second largest area of country
Are you not going to
in
tell
the
us
world.
why it's true?
It's just true.
Yeah, I see. Cheater.
Russia has the second largest area of country in the world. Truth or untruth?
Is this before or after they started invading places?
Right now.
Oh. No. We got a history, we got any geography teachers in here? I was in a geography B once.
I would think.
Untruth.
Hey, that's awesome, CJ. You're so awesome.
I got
man.
third place in
Like
that
you,
geography
really.
B. 6th grade.
Untruth.
I knew it. I knew
It's
it.
the first.
I knew it.
Dinosaurs were the largest animals in history. Truth or untruth?
I don't know, that's where I'm...
They weren't animals.
Like, which dinosaur? Well, they had to be animals.
It can't be because animals and reptiles.
But yeah, but it's still an animal, right?
Is it still an animal?
They were animals. Question. This is a straight up question.
So the second one you asked wasn't.
Dinosaurs were the largest animals in history.
I mean,
I've had to say untruth for that.
yeah, because the
True.
untruth.
I knew it. Woolly mammoths.
Blue whale.
Blue whales. That's what I
Blue whale.
The sandwich is named after a real person. Truth or untruth?
said. You love this word. You should
I
know
do.
this.
I do. Sandwich is such a funny word. Like if you say it over and over and over again. Try it out there, Periscope.
It has to be.
Sandwich.
That has to be truth.
Yep. Truth.
It's a word,
Yes.
that's not even a word. Like,
This game is like too easy for us. We're so smart.
Yeah, the audience has nothing to do with it. King Henry VIII had all 6 wives killed. Truth or untruth?
It's a trick question.
untruth.
You just had 2 of them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Thank you for playing. You can handle the truth.
still undefeated.
I love this game.
It's like the Carolina Panthers.
I like basking in the victory song.
A word from a sponsor. Tonight's sponsorship is by Christmas 1998.
I think they're excited.
Reminding us what Christmas should look like.
What was your favorite Nintendo 64 game?
I just don't remember that. They were so like, what was the one that came with it was the Mario game. It was
Yeah,
so
Mario game.
much different than anything else
Yeah.
you ever played.
That was amazing.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
I'm still Mario Kart fan.
I don't really know. But I just remember the controllers were like,
They were different. Oh, it was toggle.
It was amazing.
amazing.
New segment. Bad Ink with the Wizard.
Bad Ink with the Wizard.
What to not do. Came in like a wreck wall. A 6-pack. This is not.
That's not a real.
That's not a real six pack. That's a real tattoo. Promise you.
I love it.
Notice the weird hair shaving so that he could get his belly tattooed. That does not justify the six pack. Women will not like that.
Well, I think it does justify the six pack.
Suspenders. Everything about
Look at his
this.
thumb. Look at his thumb.
Yeah.
That's full commitment. Somebody say, why? What's with your rainbow thumbs? Well, let me show you my suspenders.
That is a great idea.
And goof ups.
No way.
How surprised was she?
That's why I say you don't ever get tattoos where you can't see them. How long did she have that before she realized what was going on?
I would say she's crying in the front of the picture.
That.
Everything about this. It's dumb.
It's dumb.
OMG, LLL, JK, Josh Cummins.
Wow.
This guy's been a little bit of everywhere. But you will be if you put a checkerboard on your face.
That's why you're not going to a tattoo
Periscopers?
on that right
Right, do not do this. Only Judy can judge me.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Oh, we're not done.
It's pretty good likeness.
That's a nice ice cream cone to get there. Dude, another mix-up.
That girl woke up hungover and mortified.
This guy's awesome. Wait a minute, I forgot something. Yeah, there's supposed to be an E in there. Whoa! It looks like he was walked into an elementary school and said, hey, here's some markers, kids, and like, just draw all over my face.
Is that guy an Olympic athlete?
Another six pack, just for the ladies.
Nice.
But I do want to give a shout out to my main man, Santa Claus. The Tattoo Santa. Santa Claus, Merry Christmas. Now you wonder why, like, that's a little crazy of a tattoo. It's because this is what him regular and him during Christmas time.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that batting.
No,
It's gooding.
I was shouting him out.
What about those nipple piercings though?
Yeah. Ooh, here's the next level stupid. Ready? Last one. I left it out.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. No need to say anything else to that. Yeah.
I wonder if that guy's in prison now.
It's good shading, but
Good shading.
Yeah, that's a quality tattoo.
tattoo. Just
Like if he does something, like no, it was the guy with the spider tattoo on his face. Like Oh, okay, yeah, we got this guy.
Imagine how painful that would be getting a tattoo on your nose.
That dude just like gave up on ever trying to get another chick ever in his life.
Ever.
Bad ink with the wizard.
Bad ink with the wizard. I like it.
What's this?
All right,
What is this?
let's get into it tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit about Christmas and about Santa Claus, and maybe that tattooed Santa Claus we just seen.
There's some good tattoos on that guy.
You like that?
I mean, I don't like it, but I thought it was pretty good.
I don't know which one.
The Santa Claus.
The spider face.
The spider tattoo was pretty good too. I just don't know about the placement.
All right. So we're going to talk about Christmas and whatnot tonight. Let's go ahead and have our special guest for tonight. Come on up. Mr. James Ghazi.
First name greatest. The spring after started off real low, but thanks to all the haters, I know G4 vibes on a first name basis.
freeaudiobook.com.
This in one thing.
Fugazi.
You know what Fugazi is?
Fugazi, it's fake.
Yeah, Fugazi, Fugazi, it's a Wazzy, it's a Woozy, it's a... There it is.
All right. So, Mr. Fugazi. Forget. How do you say it?
Fugazi.
It's a Fugazi. All right. So, tonight we're talking about Christmas, and we wanted to bring you up because you're one of the craziest people that I know, and
Don't judge me.
not in a bad way.
Only Judy can judge me.
Not in a bad way, but like here's a clip. Here's a picture of Fugazi's house. Right there. This goes to show you he's a man that does some nice work, and we appreciate that. Another thing I found out about Fugazi is that he doesn't do anything halfway. And I appreciate a guy like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we asked him to come up here and do a small lights thing for Halloween. You know, just a little bitty couple of lights or whatever, and the dude spent like 6 hours. And his work was impeccable. I mean, little zip strips of this and that, and all that. I'm like, holy smokes, man. So, tonight we're talking about Christmas.
I like lights.
He's a light man.
Yeah, I do. I like lights. Nothing wrong with that. I won't take my girls to see your house. Come on, what? She would love that.
So, getting into tonight, we're talking about Christmas, we're talking about Santa Claus, we're talking about all these different things. So, Periscope people, if there's children around, this might be the time that you want to put them to bed or whatever. I don't want to be the guy that has to break it to your kid or is bad, whatever. I won't do that. So, for anybody in here,
Fair warning.
does anybody in here that, yeah, we might have a couple people in here, but, so we're getting into it. No,
What are you trying to say?
no,
Should I leave now?
no. So,
No.
so, what I want to get into, Mr. Fugazi, is I've seen that you like lights, you like all this Christmas stuff, so you have several kids, so I wanted to get your take on all the stuff that we're talking about tonight. So, is there anybody in your household, still to this day, that believes in Santa Claus? Like
They say they do. I think it's just to keep that childhood innocence sort of there, but
you don't think so? So, you have older children who, when you started, you raised them to believe in Santa Claus. I mean, they believed in the whole thing, correct? Or
Katie and Kayla are, I don't know if you know, I adopted them.
okay,
So I really didn't come into their lives. Kayla was 9 and Katie was 6. So Katie's believed in Santa Claus at that point, Because she was very immature since. but Kayla, so I never really got that joy with Kayla. But Emily and Mia, it's like they were hardcore. It's real. He comes down my chimney, he comes brings me toys, and it's the best thing ever. Oh yeah.
Right.
I'm sure you're experiencing that now too.
Yeah, I am. So I'm just trying to get on what it'd be like to. So you did have I want to know what it's like to have someone, a child that believes in Santa Claus, and then the day comes that they stop believing, or how does that?
But the best thing to do, in my opinion, is explain to the older one, just don't ruin it for them. It's like you had that joy, it's like let them sort of play the game with you. Let them, say, oh yeah, Santa Claus is coming. It's like Santa Claus is coming. Oh, I just. Gotta be good, so you just saw an elf behind the tree. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where the older ones can, you figure I have two really separate groups of kids. It's like I have my older ones and I have my younger ones. And my older ones are so much older than the younger ones. They were able to do that with them, and they sort of got the joy of
Helping out.
Yeah.
So because I have a child.
Yes, you do.
That is.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. I've got a 9-year-old that is doesn't believe anymore.
Okay.
But she's kind of a different type kid. I didn't tell her. She's just kind of a kid that was just like, all right, so basically here's all the information that I have, and I've come up with the fact that this doesn't make sense. Right? So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And once they figure it out, you're not going to be able to go back and say, no, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Santa Claus is real.
Right.
For real. I tell you it's real.
So that's what I'm like.
But it's one of those things where, they're going to figure it out in school, or wherever they're at. It's like, going to school and it's like, Santa Claus isn't real, because all the other little kids are saying it.
Right.
But
So you've got one.
I know I finally said Santa Claus is not. Man.
You've got one that does and two that don't, right?
I've got. What's that?
You've got one that doesn't and two that does.
I've got one that doesn't. I got one that does, and I got one that doesn't give a rat's hind end either way.
As long as they get something on the tree.
Yeah. He's too young to know. So that's kind of why I want to talk about this tonight, because so in your opinion, have you seen, has there ever been a moment when you're just like, why did we start this? Or where you think them believing in Santa, have you ever had one of those moments where giving gifts or whatever, where you've given presents to your kids that morning and you're just like,
why am I lying to my children?
right, why am I lying? Exactly. Have you ever had one of those moments where you're just like, why do we make these things too more complicated than it is?
I don't think I've ever had a moment where I regretted it per se. There's been moments where I thought the kids would love something, and then they're just like, oh, it's okay.
Right.
Like, what? That's the coolest thing ever. It's a remote control spider. What are you talking about, man? Come on.
Right.
Yeah. At least it wasn't a spider tattoo on someone's face.
Yeah, exactly.
So with your lights, and just by looking at what's the stuff that you do, because I know, I wanted to get an interview with your wife, because I wanted to ask her about what she really thinks, of a man that would spend 3 days, untangling lights and.
It's longer than that.
Right, it's longer than that. So.
I start testing lights in October.
So there you go.
Crazy.
You're exactly, Wizard, right? But it's to each his own, right? You start testing lights in October. I know that, I put up some Christmas lights this year, just because my neighbor did last year,
awesome,
and I didn't.
CJ.
I hear you,
You're so
Wizard.
awesome, man. I want to be like you.
But I put up 10 strands, okay? And I was going to take a picture like, yeah, Fugazi, what do you think about that? But I put up like 10 strands, and there's like nothing worse than putting those things up there and then realizing that one stupid little bulb is what's making these other ones die. So you have to find it. And I'm like, there is no way. And so I felt like Clark Griswold this year, you know, where he's just like, I don't understand, I don't get it. There's 25,000 lights, and I checked every bulb, right?
The whole moral of the story of that whole movie is don't put outlets on switches.
Yeah, that is.
That is a key point.
So to do something like you've done, and you had it all on music and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, my music box.
Yeah, your music box broke. But I got to see it when it was still doing its thing, and it was like, this is...
Get one under the tree for this year for Christmas.
There you go. Yeah. Santa, hint, hint. Hint, hint, Santa. So, but no, you have music, and I mean, but it takes time. You said you started in October. It takes time. Is there anything that, like, with your family, every family has like traditions and little things that they do. Was there anything that you do with your family that you say, it's probably different than anybody else does, or something like that you like to do, or something that you think is pretty cool?
Well, every year for Christmas, and this is actually the first year that we're not going to do it due to budget cuts with the city of Fort Mitchell. They have what's called luminaria. I know. It's like all those rich people up there, and they can't pay their taxes. But every year we would go up there, and we would go up to my parents' house, and right down the street from them, we'd all meet up, and they'd have a big bonfire there, and then we would ride a horse and carriage up and down and around through their neighborhood.
Oh, cool.
And then they'd come back and drop it back off. And we'd, I have a very large family. I mean, I have 4 older brothers and sisters, and then they all have a slew of kids, and I have a slew of kids, and we would fill this thing up to the brim. And just riding up and down there, looking at the Christmas lights, and singing Christmas carols.
That's awesome.
That was one of our family traditions that due to budget cuts. So maybe I'll just get my own horse and carriage. Maybe I'll horse and carriage. Yeah,
I'm sure we can find one.
We can find a donkey.
yeah. Maybe we can grab that deer on the side of the road.
There you go.
That'd be a real story.
with you people!
So we need something like that, man, in Grant County. I think the biggest thing down here is that one guy's got a light show at his house.
Crazy guy?
The crazy guy.
Yeah.
And it's,
Should we that stop?
so
Stop it!
Stop it.
Stop it!
The story behind
Stop it.
the story behind my lights is one day my oldest daughter, Kip, it's like you can sort of see out of the corner there my neighbor's house, and she would always get out there and put up some lights, and they'd be colorful and everything. I was always a white light, some wreaths on the windows,
right.
and she kept on just harassing, picking. How come we don't do that? How come we don't do that? How come we can't be the person with big blow-ups in the front yard? I said, fine, I'll fine. You want me to do some Christmas lights? I'll do some Christmas lights.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
You're right. That gets you in trouble every time. Every time. You're like,
And then, it's like, and now it's like the beauty about it is like, people sort of, people love it. Susan gets comments every year at school, when's your husband going to start with Christmas lights?
right.
And this is this year's. We'll see what next year brings.
I think it's so cool because it's so
just
simple.
getting warmed up.
I think us as adults, we sometimes, we'll just drive by and be like, yeah, that's cool, man, but you just kind of leave it there. But if I would drive my kids around there and they look at me, they're just like, just complete joy. And how simple is it? It's a bunch of lights. And
bunch of lights.
they just love it. So it's pretty cool, man. It's definitely, like I said, I know what it takes. I did 10 strands and it was terrible. So I can only imagine what it takes to do something like that. So
Keeps me off the streets.
there you go. So And then, real quick, your wife is a teacher.
Yes, she is.
So have you heard of this Elf on the Shelf dude?
Yes, I have.
Do you guys have you ever done that?
Not do an Elf on the Shelf.
Does she do it at school or?
No.
So can you, like, I'm new to this Elf on the Shelf guy.
Okay.
What's your opinion on this little thing? And how does he work?
I think the Elf on the Shelf Corporation is a conspiracy.
Yes.
Why is the elf getting in trouble? What would the elf do?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's like he does something every night. I don't understand it. It's like you think you throw him out of your house if he's that mischievous.
well, how does he work though? Because I'm like,
Basically, you have the elf and he sits on a shelf.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the elf on the shelf.
right?
And then you wake up in the morning, and the elf has done something. Whether the elf has gotten into the cookies and eaten a bunch of cookies. It's really the parents eating
Right.
the cookies, by the way.
So just so you know, Charlotte.
No, wait a
The
minute.
parents that did it.
So the parents get to eat cookies.
Exactly.
Now I'm starting to see
Blame it on
this.
the elf on the shelf.
Right.
You know, or
So you say you know you ruined Christmas for me.
Yeah.
you know. But it's like the elf does stuff. You know, it's like the elf.
Yeah, my elf, he doesn't do anything bad.
You have an elf,
Yeah, he just makes things and does gets in different places.
so your elf is lame. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, he has camp outs and all kinds of stuff. But it's cool stuff. He doesn't do anything bad.
No, so is this elf really having campouts, or is it just you?
Are you concerned with your elf?
Hold on,
catching a house
I
on
can
fire?
find this one.
I love the one with the elf. Where
You are really calm, for real.
Yeah, that's shark. I got it for you. But listen, your elf is supposed to go at night when the kids sleep back to the North Pole to report to Santa for what the kids, if the kids have been good or what's going on. And then in the morning he comes back and you've got him in a different spot or whatever, just to show movement like he's real. But they're not allowed to touch him or he loses his magic. Because, he's fake. He's stuffed. If they grab him.
Why would anybody touch an elf and make him lose his magic, though? That's
Exactly.
terrible.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
You get to name it, so it's more personal. So you don't, when you
What's
get the
your
elf,
name?
they actually have to name it. And they have a book that comes with it, and they say, okay, they read about it, and they say, you give your elf a name, and he's kind of like your personal elf.
What's your elf's name?
You know what I mean? So it's Boopy. Well, I had it for 3 years.
Can you spell that?
What?
Boopey. That's how you spell it. And that is his name. If anybody has issues with that, we can take it up right after service.
My mind is blown on this whole elf thing. This is way dumber than I thought it was.
It's a conspiracy by the Elf on the Shelf Corporation. They got these.
Geniuses.
They got these. Next thing you know, how much we'll bet?
Oh, it was a
There's going to
genius
be an
idea.
Elf on the Shelf Christmas special coming out here shortly.
Oh,
Yes.
You know, I can see it now.
Well, they got a movie, an Elf on the Shelf special movie
Yeah.
that comes out on Christmas.
I don't know what to think about all
1995.
this.
You buy it at Barnes and Noble.
Crazy. Well, Fugazi, thanks for coming up here tonight and talking to us
Thanks for
about
having
Christmas
me.
and stuff, man.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Fugazi, it's fake.
Hey, Fugazi, Fugazi, it's a Wazzy, it's a Woozy, it's a fairy dust.
Fugazi, everybody.
Mind's blown. All right, getting into the meat tonight. Let's go ahead and have our pastor for the night come up. Pastor Josh Cummins.
What's up? I got a bad ink story.
You do?
Yeah. Remember coaching summer baseball one time, and we had a day off. And we were down in Ashland, Kentucky, so we went to the state park and went to the pool with all the players. And the dude had the word rape tattooed on his belly. And I said, none of you guys go around him. Said, dead serious. Giant, R-A-P-E.
Doesn't even make sense.
I know.
Maybe that was his name. Hopefully that was his name.
That's a bad name.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Pastor Josh. Everything cool Fugazi just said, you just ruined it.
That's a bad ink right there. It is. That's worse than the spider on your face.
All these topics
Shoot,
tonight,
that stinks.
they're touchy to me because I'm in a situation right now where I have two little kids.
Oh, yeah.
But we haven't had to do a whole lot of thinking on it. I mean, we have because we knew it was coming, but we haven't really had to say, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it in every one of these situations because they're just now getting to the age to where they really know what's going on, or Hadley at least is. I just don't
Still
know.
got a little while.
I do, but
but sooner or later it's going to
feelings.
happen. Like, you're going to have to make a decision. Like, here's where, and
I'm
this
going
is
to
where I
have
was
to make
going.
a decision between now and next Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and this is kind of where you guys have figured out. We're talking about Santa Claus. We're talking about Elf on the Shelf. We're talking about whether we should, as parents, as Christians, as whatever you want to call it, is this stuff, what's our opinion on it? And let's, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, for example, my 9-year-old that we talked about earlier, well, no big deal. She figured it out on her own. But my middle child, she's an emotional train wreck. If I tell her that Santa Claus is not real, she's going to have a meltdown. It's going to happen. Because I told her, and it's funny that the Wizards got that picture up there. Here's how I break stuff to my kids. I said, one day, they're talking about the Easter Bunny, they're talking about this stuff, and I said, here's the deal. And we're just like standing in the kitchen. And I said, here's the deal. The Easter Bunny is a load of bull. And they're just looking at me, and I'm like, no, seriously. Like, that's a joke. That's not real. I said, doesn't even make sense. We have like a 6-foot rabbit running around here. And why is he delivering eggs? Like, that's dumb. Here's what Easter's about. And I just, right to them. And here I got 3 kids looking at me like,
Good day, sir.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
like, there's some things I'm just not going to stand for. And that's one of them.
Yeah.
So then I got to thinking about the Santa Claus and all this stuff. And I'm just like,
And your wife has some different opinions on it as well.
oh, I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
I would like to make a disclaimer that if you celebrate, like however you celebrate Christmas, like to each their own, like that's awesome. But I personally, for me, like I don't think it's so much, it's not celebrating Christmas. You celebrate Christmas, but I just think it's how we do it. And I don't know what to do about the whole Santa Claus thing. Because yes, I know kids get joy from it, and I do, and I believed in Santa Claus, and it was awesome. And I'll never forget the things that my dad had set up to make me really think that Santa was real. And I still remember those stories, but after thinking about it, it's like I guess where my mind is at is you're telling this kid that to believe in someone that they can't see, and then they find out that that's not the case. That Santa is not real. And at the same time, we're bringing them up to believe in a God that you can't see. Now, I know that the presence of God can be felt, and I know it's a little bit different. But at that young of age, I just can't.
No, I think that's deep and that's good, because think about it, is that we say, okay, here's the facts. Like my 9-year-old came in, she says, it's impossible for this dude to get this many places and all this stuff, blah, 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 according to the trajectory of this and the weather system here, and blah, 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 and I'm going, you lost me. What's your point? And she's like, it's just impossible for Santa Claus to be real. Okay, good enough. Then you start talking about the presence of God, like you're talking about.
Or Jesus, just Jesus, for sure.
And you're like, wait a minute. So you're telling me this can't be true, but this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily have a problem with the presence, because I think you can teach, you can teach through that, and I don't know. Me personally, that's where I get hung up at with the Christmas thing.
Yeah.
That's the only spot.
Well, I mean, I think to know where Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, when it all started, if you read the history of it, it was like a dude that gave away some inheritance or whatever it was, and was doing good things.
Yeah.
And then it kind of rolled from there to this to that.
My only problem with Santa Claus, it's similar to yours, but my only problem with Santa Claus is that we give him godlike attributes. So we tell our kid, Santa Claus knows whether you're good or bad. No, he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
Santa Claus is omnipotent. You know what I mean? Santa Claus is this person who knows, everything about your life. He sees it. And then they end up finding out it's false. Exactly. That's my only problem with Santa Claus, is that we make him out to have godlike attributes. And that is scary to me. I don't think there's anything wrong with telling your kids about Santa Claus. I think it's a gray area that you're not going to ever have a truly right answer to. You just do whatever you feel called to do, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But to give Santa godlike attributes is the only part that I think is truly wrong. To say he knows whether you're naughty or nice, and if you're not good, you're not going to get good presents. You're not going to get those presents, and it makes him out to be, it's a workspace type of thing as well. That kind of scares me. If you're good, then you get this good stuff. That kind of scares me as well. But those two things are really what gets me with Santa.
Well,
because it makes him out to be like God.
If Santa Claus was really all so great, then why in the world does he need that little elf to tell him what's going on?
Yeah,
and if I was
the
a
elf
kid,
on the shelf is new. That's the new thing.
That elf would be wrapped up somewhere in a closet.
Yeah. He's not going to tell
on me.
He's not telling Santa anything bad I do.
Snitches get stitches, you know what I'm saying?
I can guarantee you right now that my wife brought this up on a Facebook post about a year ago, because we had really sat down and talked about it, or started talking about it. And the comments that she got,
I remember,
were borderline
hateful, man.
Like really hateful. And I'm like, why in the world? Like, it's not about stealing joy from my kids. That's not what it's about at all. But I think that in every situation, you really have to look at what glorifies God. Because at the end of the day, if we say we're Christian, we say that God is above all other things, then why shouldn't we assess everything that we do and everything that we celebrate?
Yeah,
I agree.
And if it's going to hurt my child's chance, my child's future of believing in God, then I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
Well, I don't want to be a stumbling block for my own child. I understand where you're coming from.
And I'm not trying, and to anybody that would say, I'm not going to judge anybody for doing the whole Santa Claus thing. Not one bit would I ever do that. Do I think there might be a way to do it and it be fine? Sure, because the argument that you get is that, well, we all turned out all right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm not trying to raise my kids to be a Christian like I was. I want my kids to be better than I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want them, I don't want to raise milk cow religion Christians. Mm-hmm. Where they come into the church. I've been hung on that here lately, by the way.
Well, go ahead and finish it for the Periscope people.
Yeah,
then we come to church at a certain time.
Milk cow comes into the barn same time, same place, same way, same order every single day at the same time, and goes back out in the field and does what a milk cow does. I don't want to raise a Christian, my kids like that.
True.
And not saying that believing in Santa Claus would do that. I just want to take the appropriate steps to make sure that I give them the best that I can, to give them, I guess, the...
Yeah, like I said, the only thing that worries me is giving Santa godlike attributes is a scary part for me. And my wife and I have discussed this, and she was over there laughing, just a few minutes ago, but we have talked about it. We don't have kids yet, so this could change, obviously. But in our talks, we've talked to each other, we've said we're not going to tell our kids about Santa ever. And that's just
They're going to figure it out. They're going to get the memo.
Yeah, they're going to get the memo. We're going to say he's not real.
See, because I don't know. Here's the problem, though.
That's scary, I know.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I have 3 children. Never once did I sit down with any of the 3 and say, here's this fat man in a red suit I want to tell you about. Like, it never come up. Like, the world around you tells you they already have this, their grandparents, whoever.
Yeah.
What's Santa bringing you? What's Santa bringing you? All this stuff. It was never, because me and my wife never had this conversation, because I have always been, and she'll tell you, and I'm like, why on earth? I don't want Santa Claus. He doesn't pay bills here. He doesn't take care of stuff here. And then I work and do all this stuff for all this money to buy these gifts, and then he's getting all the credit. Boom.
Yeah.
Right? I've never been a fan of Santa Claus. Who is this guy? He shows up one time out of the whole year. What about Dad? What about Dad? What about the middle of July when nothing's going on?
Merry Christmas!
No, I agree.
Dad's worse than Weekend Dad. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a weekend dad.
But we have talked about it, her and I, and we just kind of came to the conclusion that we're not going to do the whole Santa thing as best we can. Now, how that works itself out, I have no idea.
Well, it's a lose-lose battle. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
It's because if you tell your kids from the very beginning that Santa Claus is not real, they're the punk kids that's making the kids cry at school.
I know, yeah.
It's gonna happen.
They are. They're in kindergarten. They're telling all the other
All the
kindergarten.
kids are like, oh,
Santa's not real.
Santa's not real, you morons. Think about it.
Santa's not real. Jesus is real.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then they're like, those are the extreme Christians that we don't like. And that's why we don't serve your God.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I agree. It is a lose.
Flavor again.
It is a lose.
Christians.
Yeah.
Gosh.
They're the radicals.
Yeah.
I can
That's what
so
you come
go
up
off
with.
on a rant right now.
I'm saying like, Doug, you look like Doug Heffernan guy
You're
on
the Joshua
Facebook.
Fowler
Yeah.
No, we're not him.
So we're not saying that. So we want to make sure. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
We're not saying that you're any less of a Christian by celebrating Santa
No,
Claus.
absolutely
No,
no.
not at all.
Because, I don't know, me here, I'm in this already,
Yeah, you're doing the Santa Claus
but
thing.
I'm not,
I know what you're
I
saying.
am, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It is what it is.
but I don't know how, I can go home right now and say, guess what, here's the deal. Or I can just ride this thing out. I don't know.
It's still fun.
It is.
Even
It
for
is.
the
I get
parents,
it.
for the kids, even just being with the parents, and being because the whole atmosphere of Christmas, whether it's whatever. Like if you ask my kids, I mean they believe in Santa Claus, and we have all kinds of fun with it. We can do the elf on the shelf and everything. It's awesome. But if you ask them what's the point of Christmas, they'll say Jesus.
Yeah, I think you can do both, but I think you gotta,
I get it. I do.
I don't want to his point is that I want to make sure, really look down deep and say, okay, here's how we do Christmas. And are we doing it right? Just because we've always done this and we've always had fun doesn't mean we're doing it right. Because those days, like last year, the year before, whatever it is that you see them open gifts and they just get gift after gift after gift after gift, and you're just like, I said, this is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. Why? Because you seen that kid on the film earlier? He's going nuts. Got one present, right? And he turns around like, this is okay. And that's it. I think that's not even a Santa Claus thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. The scarier aspect of Christmas is not Santa Claus.
No.
The scarier aspect of Christmas is raising materialistic kids.
Sure.
Raising kids who, think they deserve all this great, unbelievable stuff, and they get it because they're good, and, we just raise people. Our culture raises people who want more stuff, and it starts at this young age, and I think that's a great point, too.
When we were kids, when I was a kid, man, Christmas was that was our family's thing. Like Christmas, you walked in and looked under the Christmas tree, and it looks like the Christmas tree had just vomited presents all over the living room floor. And I mean, it would take hours to open up all these gifts. So, and I remember, I wanted to tell one story that my dad did that really made me believe in Santa Claus. One of the best stories ever is that he took a mounted deer that my uncle had or my cousin had, and took a red nose and put on there and pecked on the window with it where I was getting ready to sleep. And I was like, and I remember like pretending like I was asleep because I thought Santa Claus was like there and I was awake and he wasn't going to leave me any gifts, but
Pretty cool.
I have that memory. So it is fun. It is.
See, I think I was a kid. Like I don't ever remember like believing in Santa Claus. Like we were the kids that found the presents weeks before Christmas and already opened them and put them back together. We already knew everything we was getting.
Good taping job.
Yeah.
We did do. We were excellent.
You guys learned how to wrap presents at early
Well,
age.
you find out how to cut it just right,
Creases, man.
how to put it right back over top. You never know. Except for one time. It was terrible. Worst Christmas ever. Hand to God. We were probably 15, 16 years old. No, maybe a little younger than that. But I remember there was one box that didn't get put back under the tree.
Whoa.
And my mom was like going through the house. Like she knew every present that she had gotten. And there was one just not there. And after she tore the house apart, finally had to just say, here's where it's at.
Like it was so awesome, we just kept it.
Like we didn't keep it. We just like forgot to put it back, like where it was. Like we stole it, went upstairs, unwrapped it, and put it back together. We just didn't take it back downstairs. And so we found her finding out that we had opened all those presents. Oh my gosh,
I can imagine.
it was bad. It was emotional up in that place. I can tell you that. Terrible. But I don't remember ever like believing the whole Santa Claus deal. One, we didn't have a chimney, right? And two, like here's two quick questions. Santa Claus, do you want your kids to think it's okay for strange men to let themselves into your child's bedroom or even come into your house in the middle of the night? There's a question. Wizard?
I'm pretty sure, like, one, I understand what you're saying, but the whole point of that is that Santa Claus is goodness.
Trusted.
Okay, he like is goodness. He is like magic. He's all the good things. He's not random Jim Bob off the side of the street trying to get in your house.
Like I haven't figured out, my kids haven't figured that out yet because they know better. They know Dad better than that. Number two.
No, hey Dad, when Santa gets here, could you please not shoot him?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Here's my next question: is do kids really care whether the presents come from Santa or Joe Schmo? At the end of the day, isn't
I think
present?
when they're little, for some reason, I think it might. I think they might open up a gift that they might not be as excited about, but still be excited about it because it was from Santa.
I think at younger age, they like the fun.
Yeah.
They like the mystical.
Yeah.
When they get like the age of 9 or 10, they're like, I don't really care who gave me this. I just want it to be
I just
awesome.
want gifts.
Well, here's how I thought about doing it one year: is saying, okay, and we get up in the morning, go in there, and they say, oh, there's no presents. Where's the presents? Where was the fat man this year? Where's the presents at, Santa Claus? Oh, he didn't bring you no daggone presents, did you? It's because he's low life. He doesn't pay bills here, right?
Yeah.
Good thing Dad's got your back. Mom, get the presents out of the closet. Dad's here.
Yeah.
Save the day.
Save the day.
And bring out a big sack.
Out goes Santa Claus, in comes Dad.
Yes.
That reminds me of
Merry
a
Christmas.
story when we were kids. Jaden was bad for like the week right before Christmas. And like, my parents hid all of his presents up in his room after he came down. So like, we're all opening presents and like, Jordan, here's a present. Josh, here's a present. Jordan, here's a present. Josh, here's a present. Jordan, here's a present. Josh, here's a present. This just kept going on and on and on. And Jaden's like, where's my presents? And like, you must have been bad, man. And like, he is bawling, crying for like 30 minutes. My parents let this go on for a long time.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, my dad's like, I told you you shouldn't have been bad. That's what you did. And so we seriously, Jordan and I opened like 15 presents apiece, and Jaden's sitting there like bawling, because he's always been a crybaby anyways. Bawling, crying, and then he goes up to his room and he has 15 presents up there from Santa Claus.
Right. Santa Claus a pushover.
None of us, Jordan and I were old enough we didn't believe in Santa Claus anyways, but Jaden was still
you guys were ragging it on.
Yeah, yes.
Some parents do this thing really well.
Yeah.
Like, they do it really well.
Yeah.
Some people end it very well, and some people keep it going on for such a long time. I remember being in, I was in youth ministry for a long time, and I remember sitting in a youth group one night and bringing up the whole thing about Santa Claus. And this is kids like
6th grade.
6th grade and up. And looking around the room, and I could tell, I thought I was free to talk about whichever I want, but I brought up something. I didn't say I didn't come out and flat say Santa Claus, blah, blah. I had said something to the extent of comparing Santa Claus, and it was kind of you could see the eyes, what's he talking about?
I'm just getting warmed up.
And I was ooh, I backed down from the fight real quick, because I'm I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, if you're 12 years old,
yeah,
your parents have done well.
for sure.
You guys are awesome.
But wrapping this up, for real this time, the one verse that I couldn't get away from, and I mean, you can look for scripture and look for all those things, and if you pull up and you start searching for Santa Claus in scripture, all you're going to get is lies, and then you find yourself in being those extremist Christian radical.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. Like I said, we were talking about this in seminary class yesterday. Churches have split over the whole idea of having Santa Claus come to their church and have the kids. They've split over that idea.
Yeah.
They've had a humongous church split, and they've split into 2 churches over Santa Claus coming.
Or a Christmas tree on the stage.
Yeah, either way, you know what I mean? Just silly stuff like that. It's not that big of a deal. I don't care if we had Santa Claus come here with the kids. That doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? It's not going to end my world. I'm not that gung-ho about it. And I'm not that gung-ho about any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I think as long as you're doing the real meaning of Christmas, as long as you're teaching them the real things, you're teaching them about Jesus, you're teaching them the whole story of it, the reason, the giving, and whatever. As long as you're doing the end part of it, then the rest of it, I don't really, whatever. Have fun with it. Your kids are going to grow up one day and not want you to come eat lunch with them at school. What's going to happen, right? So I just think that you have to put that, the first seed that you put in needs to be about what Christmas truly is about.
Right.
Yeah. And then the other stuff is just kind of stuff that's going to go away.
So,
but just like everything else we talk about up here, when it comes to opinions and all those things, I mean, it is what it is, right? There's no right or wrong answer here. I just believe that the only thing that we can say for sure is that you've got to, every kid has a foundation, every life has a foundation. As long as that foundation is founded on Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Just, do whatever, whatever God leads you to do. This is an area where God could lead you to do something and lead me to do something totally different. And we can both be right. Just do whatever God leads you to do. But ultimately, He's going to lead you to talk about Jesus more than talking about Santa Claus.
All right, Pastor Josh, thanks for coming up here tonight, man. You're the man. Pastor Josh, everybody. So, good night. Going a little long. You got a lot of things to think about now.
yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. Time will tell.
I don't think it's right or wrong. All right, so next week we're going to be talking about, just like we talked about tonight, giving a little bit here at the end. We're going to be talking about giving, because this is the season. So, hope you guys had fun tonight. Hope you learned a thing or two. Hope you had an opinion. I don't know. But That's what we do here, with all due respect, right? We throw it out there, throw something against the wall, and hope that it sticks, right? That's all we do. So, hope to see you guys back here next week. Same time, same place.